Country of origin is where was the product produced, not where it came through, where was it produced. The importer of record number, manufacturer's name and address, consolidator's name and address, consignee's name and address, the seller's name and address, and the buyer's name and address. Now, some of these might be the same, but all 10 of those pieces of information need to be reported on an ISF, and it needs to be reported on a timely basis. Okay? Before the product reaches a port to the United States, all this information needs to be filed with the government before it gets to the port. Not while it's in port, not a week later, before. Okay. Now let me throw you a curveball. All this information is made public. Okay? So, Candy, everything that your company, if your company imports, is public record. So, I can go into a system and find out where you're importing from, how much you're importing from, what it costs, everything. Okay? I just throw that out there. There is a way for that information to be blocked. And you might want to talk to your freight forwarder about blocking that information. Okay? But this information technically is made public. Okay? Questions about the 10 pieces of information that need to be filed? Not 5, not 8, not 9, all 10. Okay? And for the last year and a half, if you didn't want to do it, it was okay. But the government also knows that you're not complying. Harmonized commodity, harmonized codes. Man, this is just like mind-boggling stuff. It's not that difficult. And I could say that because I don't do it. I let somebody else do it. And really, that's the attitude that you should have, unless you have somebody who works in your company that is an expert at it. Okay? Either you have a licensed customs broker who works in your company, or you work with a licensed customs broker. Let me tell you what a harmonized code is. Harmonized commodity is an international system of names and numbers for classifying traded products created by the World Customs Organization and used in determining tariffs on goods shipped internationally. What is it? Every product that's shipped has a name and internationally has a 6-digit code. At least a 6-digit code. If it comes into the United States, it's classified in a 10-digit code. Okay? First 2 digits are the chapter of where you find that product in the homogenized, or harmonized booklet. Second two digits are the heading. Third two digits are your subheading. And your last four digits are company specific. Let me give you an example. If I was looking in Harmonized Code and I was selling Sweetheart, if I was importing Sweetheart roses, the number for Sweetheart roses is 0603-11-00-10. Your customs broker would know that because they would go into their classifications in Chapter 6 under live trees and plants. They would go to Section 03 that says cut flowers. They would go to a subheading of 11 that's cut flower roses. And they would go to the suffix 0010 that specifies them as Sweetheart roses. To get your product into the United States, every product needs to be broken down that way. Okay? If you're bringing in golf shoes, I want to know, are they men's golf shoes or are they women's golf shoes? Are they leather or are they synthetic? Are they steel spiked or are they rubber spiked? Because that makes a difference. And you're going to ask me, Mike, why? First of all, the government wants to know what's coming into the country, but also they want to know how much duties and taxes they can collect from you. Different products have higher tariffs. Okay? Questions about that? Now that you know that, let me tell you some tricks that your vendors will try to tell you. Mike, I know what you're telling me the Harmonized Code is, but I'll tell you what, let me give you a different code and it'll save you money on your duties and taxes. Because if I use this Harmonized Code, it'll be cheaper for you. What do you think of that? Okay? There's a couple of reasons they're probably saying that. Number one, they're probably paying an export tax in their own country, and it's probably cheaper for them to get it out of their own country under a different number. Okay? It'll get into the United States probably cheaper because maybe the product you're bringing in is under a quota or a higher tax. So they're going to give you some hints to get it into the country cheaper. What happens when you do that and it gets brought in and it gets caught? Who does the government go against? Importer of record. So that vendor that you shipped out of Germany, where are they? Doesn't hurt them. They got it out of the country probably cheaper. But it hurts you.
So if I'm an importer of record then, so I do imports usually.
You do imports? You don't. Okay. Yep. Yep.
So if I'm looking on the commercial invoice and they've already got the GTC code on there, I got to look it up anyways myself to make sure that it's the correct one, because they may have just put in something generic.
That's right. That's right. Yep. Or your broker. You're probably using a broker. All right? Now, so you're going to say, Mike, how do I know? How do I know? All right? There's one fail-safe way of knowing what your harmonized code is. And that is, take your product and bring it to customs. Bring it to them. They will inspect it. They will give you a letter stating your product is this harmonized code. Okay? That's 100% fail-safe. Because if they make a mistake and they catch it and they come back, you've got that letter. Now, it might have to get changed going forward, but you've got that letter. Okay? So that way, if you have any question about your product, and your product is that technical, I would bring it to customs and have them certify it. If you do anything with FDA, food, drugs, anything that goes through the FDA, take the time and make sure that the harmonized, not only the harmonized accurate, but your markings and labelings are accurate. Okay? And again, they'll write you a letter and they'll tell you what to do. Second way, Robert, that you could do it is ask your broker. Okay? Ask your broker. Say, Mike, here's my product. Can you tell me what the harmonized number is, code is? And I can give it to you.
As the importer of record, though, I'm only paying just the duty for coming into the country.
Yes.
If they did it wrong on the way out.
Right. That's their problem. Okay? And I'm going to show you how this is all going to tie in. All right? So you could ask the broker. Now, I am going to warn you that if the broker gives you the wrong code, you are responsible. You are. You can't push it off on your broker. Okay? Russ is going to pick up the phone and say, hey, Mike, I've got customs here and they want to find me, but I'm just going to pass this on to you because you gave me the number. It doesn't work that way.